Welcome to this week's episode of Analyzing Chazal. This week we'll be analyzing the commentary of the Sforno on this week's parsha, Parshas Beshalach. Let's go to the pasuk. In Perek Yud Gimel Pasuk Yud Tes, the Torah says, "Vayikach Moshe es atzmos Yosef imo, ki hishbia es bnei Yisrael lemor, hakod yifkod Elokim eschem, v'halisem es atzmosai itchem." And Moshe took the bones of Yosef with him, because Yosef had made Bnei Israel swear, saying that God will remember you, and you should take my bones up with you. The explanation of the pasuk. The Torah is explaining to us the reason that Moshe went to get Yosef's body when it was time for them to be redeemed was that Yosef made his brothers swear that they will make sure to take his bones out of Egypt when they were redeemed. Thus forno. V'inei chiyuv ador mutal al nisio. The obligation of the generation falls on its leader. The explanation of the Sforno. The Sforno was explaining why it was that ensuring that Yosef's bones were taken out of Egypt with Bnei Israel was Moshe's responsibility, who was not even from Yosef's tribe, which was, since Moshe was the leader of Bnei Israel, all the obligations that fell on Bnei Israel needed to be met by Moshe, who was the leader at that time. The type of question we'll be using this week actually requires a little bit of additional knowledge, but the type of question will in the end be that a person's actions will merit him an incredible reward that the actions do not seem to justify. The question. We learn later on, actually in Parshas V'zos HaBracha, that the reason Moshe merited to be buried by God himself was due to the fact that Moshe himself found and brought the bones of Yosef with him when they left Egypt. This is hard to understand. According to the Sforno, the reason why Moshe dealt with Yosef's bones was that he was the leader of Bnei Israel, and as such, the requirement fell on him. This being the case, why did Moshe get such a great reward? Does a person ever get a special reward for just doing his job? The answer, as we always say, comes from the question, which was, if Moshe was obligated to deal with the bones of Yosef due to his leadership position, should he receive such a great reward for just doing his job? The answer is yes, and that we do not appreciate just how difficult it is for a person in certain cases to actually do what was required of him. At a time when Bnei Israel was getting ready to leave Egypt, there were probably quite a few things that Moshe had to deal with, and finding the bones of Yosef was not easy, and the fact that he went and did what was expected of him truly made him deserving of reward. The practical application. There are times in our lives that people do us favors and other forms of chesed, and we say to ourselves, we do not need to thank them as they had to do it. We need to realize that when a person goes out of their way to help us, especially when it might not be so easy for him, even though he is required to do chesed, that does not take away from the appreciation we must have for his assistance, and of course to make that appreciation known to him and to help him in his time of need. Have a wonderful Shabbos, and we'll see you next week for Parshas Yisro.